Hello, everyone, and Madayaw. Welcome to another video with me, Teacher Maita. I'm going to be talking to you about productions, student productions to be exact. Now, the thing about student productions is we can't just treat them like student productions. I'm going to show you some strategies and tips about productions in high school. So this video is for students in high school who are tasked to make a production. So if you are a teacher, you might want to get some tips from this. You may also use this video to teach your students. Here are some strategies for you. To make a student exhibition is no joke. I get that. It's a big thing. Yes, it is. So where do we see ourselves doing this? There are actually two subjects in senior high that I know that require this. For others, it might be something that the school has come up with. You might be part of an org or a club. So for exhibitions and productions in performing arts and culminating activity in humanities and social science, most likely they are tasked to do an event. Okay, so this is dependent from school to school. So high school productions, why not? Let's go. Did you know we can actually do a lot more if we move things online? I know the lockdowns have ended, and a lot of the things that we do now are things geared towards face-to-face activities. So a lot of the activities are now face-to-face. But what about your student event? If you are allowed to do this virtually, I do suggest you do it virtually. Why? Because it is good content and you have further reach. So what can you do? What are some of the productions that you can do or achieve? You can do a play, interactive plays to be exact, because why would you do a play when it's just so static? It would be much better if it was interactive or at least has some interactivity to it. Musicals. I've been part of a musical in high school. I have some of my classmates who actually composed original scores for that. It's like a competition or a showcase in every section. I was very proud of my school for having that. Concerts. So concerts are very popular. In the last 4 years, there were numerous concerts by our students. Variety show. You can't really think of what to put there, but you know a lot of people who can help you put things together. Perhaps a variety show is the best for you. So variety shows are little mini things in one big event. So you could have somebody doing jokes, comedy or stand-up comedy, singing, dancing, acting, games. So the reason why it's called variety show is because of its variety. Then we have contests. So what kind of contests? On the spot painting contest, on the spot comic book creating contest, on the spot singing, poetry, playing music, anything can become a contest. There's panel discussion. You want to do something kind of like TED Ed or TEDx. Then you have games. So for games, there are a lot, kind of like contests, but for games, there could be like lock room or escape room type of games. There can be like trivia games, who wants to be a millionaire type of games, all those types, that. And if you can think of other virtual events, go right ahead and put them in the comments. Your rubrics for the production. Most likely, you'll be judged on these. The production value. How well did you prepare for this production? How nice is this production? Promotion and audience response. So you have to do your own promotion, sell tickets if you have to, invite people if you have to, because the more people you have there, the more response you can take. And the more response you could see, the better it is for your production. That way, you'll really know if you're doing something right or wrong. Next, professionalism and showmanship. You have to be professional in every aspect here. So your production value will actually depend on your professionalism and showmanship. Marketability. Now, this one is dependent on your promotion and audience response. Marketability is the ability for that production to sustain itself or viable enough to make money in the future. You know, if you replicate this event over and over again, will people come back over and over to watch it? What makes it great? What makes people line up for the tickets? And of course, there's that X factor that nobody can put their hands on. Even teachers can't put their hands on it. This X factor is really maybe a right combination of everything, from your performance to the production value to the showmanship, the audience response, and how current it is. So yeah, that's X factor for you. It's the reason why it's X factor. Nobody can quite tell what X is. Je ne sais quoi. So here are some strategies to make sure you have a successful production. First things first is make sure you have a plan. So make sure you plan well. Sit down, take some time. It might not take just one afternoon to plan. It might take you one afternoon and then a little while later, you'll tweak it, you'll tweak it, you'll tweak it. But it's better if you have something already there. So spend that half an afternoon to just plan something. And then you can modify along the way. It's part of the planning. Second, be professional in all aspects. When you're asking help from a teacher, when you're asking your fellow students, when you're asking for a guest, when you're asking for sponsorships, you need to be very professional. How that is? Well, first of all, be respectful when you write them. Research on what the proper templates are to use so you can write them properly. What can you ask certain people? That's part of being professional. Third, don't be afraid to collaborate. Anytime you can collaborate, collaborate. Collaborate with an artist, collaborate with a performer, collaborate. You cannot do this on your own. Unlike student films where you have tools to help you do it on your own, if you really want to, that is. For productions, it's hard to do that on your own. You need help because you can't facilitate what's in the back while hosting and singing and doing all those, everything yourself. You need help. And help is part of collaboration. So don't be afraid. Number 4 is research. What can I use that would make everything better? That can make my production simpler for me? That can give me that X factor that I need? You're going to have to research. Marketability is part of research. You need to know, this is what the market wants. This is what my audience like to see. These are the things that really make a good production. Some of those things a teacher cannot tell you because they keep changing and they can change at an instant. So every extra time that you have, research. Even scrolling down social media is part of my research because I need to see, well, because most of my friends are in this industry. So I want to see what's happening. What are they doing? And the ads, of course, will follow that. So ads that Facebook gives me are what's current in my field. And then I see, oh, there are new tools for this. Canva has this. Zoom has this. Google has this. OpenAI has this. So research, and research, which is related to number 5, the use of the latest technology. Now, the use of the latest technology does not mean you have to have the latest gadget. You might have a crappy gadget. You might just borrow somebody's laptop, but that does not mean you cannot employ the latest technology. So you can use AI-generated graphics to make sure your background, your virtual backgrounds look so good. You could use voice synthesizers. You can use virtual avatars, make things interesting. So use the latest technology, not necessarily the latest gadget. Learn the difference. Now, that's also part of your research.
Sorry, the file fluctuated or corrupted. So, number six is assessing yourself. You have to assess yourself in every aspect, in every step. After you've done your planning, assess if it's the correct plan. When you are changing your plan, assess yourself. The only time you stop assessing is when you're doing the production itself. After the production, you have to assess yourself once again. Why? Because you have to know if you're going to be doing this production again next time, that you have done everything you could. And if you could do something better, something to improve what you've already done. Because that's how we are. We have to improve, continuously improve ourselves because we're artists that way.
But wait, the key to all this is actually to think professionally. Your productions must meet industry standards. That's the new direction or the new edict that the Department of Education has given to us teachers. They want you guys to have already real world training from the get go. So if you say, but teacher, how come I have to do this? This is only a high school production. This is only a student production. That's the thing. It can't stay as a student production. It's all about mindset, guys. If you think it is a student production, then it will stay a student production. And that's not what the Department of Education wants. What they want is for you guys to already be functioning in society as if you're already doing this real world. Therefore, we're going to do it as if we are doing this in the real world. How your teacher's going to score you will be up to them. If they're going to be very lenient and score you in student production style, or if they score you based on professionalism, well, that's up to them. You're going to have to take it up with them. As for me, I am scoring you based on professionalism. That's what we want. That's what DepEd says. That's what they say that we're going to be doing, production style. All right. So don't think of it as a student production. In my last video about film, I told the students, or at least I said in the video, aim for the roof and land on the floor. This is a saying, I don't know who said it, but my sister keeps telling me this, and she kept reminding me this. If you aim for the roof, you're going to land on the floor because you're just aiming for the roof anyway. You can touch it, then you land on the floor. Aim for the stars. So aim higher, aim beyond, and you land on the roof. Does that make sense? This is a showcase. Your showcase, your class showcase, it's even the school showcase, which is related to the next point I have, the school's brand. So make sure you have a very professional, very quality type of production. Let's bring it out of you. Don't forget to manage your resources well. You have different types of resources. Financial, because let's face it, you have limited resources. I hope you can find sponsorships for this. Write some small businesses, write your parents, friends, ask for a little something to help. And of course, don't forget to thank them, put their logos, advertise them during the event. Technical and human resources. Technical skill is your skill. Human resources is other people and their skill. I put this all in one because you need to sit down and list down everybody's skills, your skills and the people who's going to help you skills. That is part of this. If you don't utilize this well, your project might fail. Next, time as a resource. Now, this is tricky. A lot of people don't know how to manage their time well. And they're even going to laugh about it. I'm not so good in time management. So if you know that you're not good in time management, what are you doing about it? There are technologies that will help you manage your time well. It's going to alarm every how many minutes you want to set it to make sure that you have done your objectives one by one. So don't be afraid to use those. Target or markets, our market target or target market. It's actually target market. I don't know why this thing is switched up, but do not underestimate your target market. When you are doing your planning, your strategizing, you will sit down and find out who's my target market. Is it your fellow classmate? Is it people in the school? Is it people outside of the school? If you're going to do a fundraising project, it might be two separate target markets. So a lot of productions do have a fundraising component. You are raising money for someone else, but your target are these people who will help you do that. Get it? Those are two. So who are you doing this for? Let's say an orphanage or home for the aged or something, or a foundation. And who will help you achieve this? Who's going to come to your event, pay $1, $2, $3, or how much you want to get them and pay for that ticket? Who are those people who will pay for that ticket? Those are the people who will help you achieve this. Production strategy. Your production has to have a point. As I said, gone were the days where this is a student production. Because student production sometimes doesn't have to make a point. They just have to meet the grade. In a professional one, if you are being graded, it does have to have a point. Are you doing this for an awareness campaign? Are you doing this for the school? Are you doing this for a fundraiser for something? Are you doing this to showcase some talents? There has to be a point, and of course, it has to also have an artistic point, because this is part of performing arts. There has to be some artistic touch to it. That's going to determine your X factor. How unique is this? What is your brand positioning? Because you are the brand. This production is the brand. So most of these can be pretty vague. But if you answer the who, what, where, target market, and how, then you'll have a very good strategy. So who's the performers? What's this for? Where are we holding this? Who are the target markets? The two target markets? And how are we going to do this? Answer that and you have a plan. So remember who, what, where, target market, and how. Okay, so look at this in the screen. Okay, so the where, if we're doing this virtually, you also need to choose your platform in that. Okay. So are you going to do it in Zoom? Are you going to do it on Kumo Space, Facebook Live? You're going to have to really choose that well. Now, teacher Maita, what about failures? Things are bound to, happen. Murphy's Law. Things are not always going to go your way. But that doesn't mean you'll fail. You're not doomed. No, you're not. That's part of creating strategies. You need to pivot at a moment's notice, and you have to have contingency plans. So when you are sitting down in your plans, think, all right, I have 5 guest speakers, or let's say 5 performers coming, 5 independent performers. We're not that close. What if 1 or 2 does not show up? You need to have backups. Okay, so if it's just 3, okay, but how can I make sure it's not too short because I'm too short of performers? Perhaps during the backstage area, you can ask each of the 3 performers who did show up, can you add an extra song, please? Can you take encores? Or maybe you have an extra performer who's always on standby. It's good to have standby people there. Maybe the standby can do jokes just to break the ice. Maybe you yourself can do a bit of trivia game, do a bit of bring me or things like that. Some contests to keep things lively, give things a bounce. That's part of X Factor. So there are barriers that may cause your production to break down. So these are poor planning. Plan for everything. It includes the things that might go wrong. Example, Loss of connection, absentee gas, and things like that. Lack of technology, not lack of gadgets, lack of technology. Use what you can, and correct usage of technology is also part of this. So research what technology you can and can't use. And, well, if you can use them, go right ahead. Lack of confidence. This really kills a student. I see people self-sabotaging because of this. They begin to second guess at first, and then they subconsciously self-sabotage. So you better watch out for this. But if you know you have a foolproof plan, it's going to give you that confidence you need to make sure you don't start second guessing yourself. Next, a noisy environment. Does that mean it's so noisy here? It means you don't have the perfect venue. If you're doing a face-to-face event, the perfect venue is what you need. Is it big enough, not big enough, small enough? Does it have the right equipment in it? If it's a virtual space, the virtual platform will also matter. Lighting will also matter. Sound systems will also matter. Noise, literal noise, also matters. So please take note of these. Teacher Maita, can I use AI tools in my production? Well, you could ask your teacher. For my policy, yeah, but your teacher or your school might have other plans. They might not allow that. There are some awesome innovations out there, and I hope you can research into this and perhaps use some of them. AI being one of them, but take it up with your school. Meta, for those who already are in Meta, go in Meta. It's a virtual world with social aspects in it. Blockchain, Meta is also has blockchain technology in it. Smart everything. There's smart appliances, smart watch, smart, well, phones. AR and VR, so augmented reality and virtual reality is everywhere. Sometimes you have the device thing that you could use, sometimes just a phone. Streaming platforms, there's a streaming war out there. We have 3 streaming giants and more coming up. Content, this is the age of content. Even this production that you're doing will become a content. Social media, just because Facebook and Twitter is dying doesn't mean it's dead. There's still billions of subscribers to it. And the number one most downloaded social media platform last year, 2022, was TikTok. Just saying. Did you know TikTok can already make 10-minute videos? Just saying. And art is steadily on the rise online. We are artistic people. You're here because you are an artistic person. Take note of the rise in arts in technology. You might get something out of that. The future of work. I asked my sister, who was tasked to do a talk in Austria, what is the future of work? She said the future of work is online. Once upon a time, you go to drive-through or you call to order food, and there will be someone on the phone. May I take your orders, ma'am, sir? Now you don't anymore. You use apps. You use your phone. There are tons and tons of apps that you can use to order whatever food you're craving for, and the delivery guy just comes here. You don't even need contact. There's like options of contactless delivery. You don't need to pay them. Just key in Gcash or what's this credit card or something, and boom, there's your food. 15 minutes or less. Wow. Then we have chatbots. Chatbots are everywhere. I hate it, don't you? They're not yet that sophisticated. It's always, oh, great, I'm going to go through a chatbot before I talk to somebody human. But that is the reality that we are headed to right now. Lastly, they call this the age of content. Content is king. You go viral with content, and viral people influences society. Sad, but that's that. So, create content. Even this production can become content. So, why am I teaching you this? I hope you do understand why I'm teaching you what I do. It's because you guys, students, high school students right now, you're the future. You're the future of the society. In a few years, you are going to be a working member of society. I hope you are going to be a member of society who contributes to it. And the future's not going to wait for you. It's going to come whether you want to or not. Change is inevitable. Change is happening every second of the day, especially with all the technology that we have. So, what are you doing about it? There are new policies and guidelines out there, so please be aware. There are so many new tools and so many new policies in school that are changing because of this. So some schools don't have AI policies yet, some schools do. For those who don't yet, well, you could take advantage of that or not. It's up to you. Another thing that's being talked about in school right now, and a lot of schools are very strict about, is the use of non-copyrighted content. Gone were the days when you can just Google a nice picture and put it there in your presentation. No, it's no longer allowed. You have to use non-copyrighted content. You have to go to places like Pixabay, Pexels, publicdomainpictures.net, vectors for free, and things like those. Even in Canva, there's free ones and there's ones that are paid. That's how they make money. Now, for those who are allowed to use AI tools, then you can just generate in AI what you want to make your presentation look nice. Ask your teachers first. Now, for those minors who are taking part of your production, whether it's a film production, it's a concert, and things like that, you need a letter of permission from a parent or guardian from them. Because I will assume everyone's high school and therefore you are below 18. So it's nice to have this, especially when you are recording this and putting it online. Here are some tips for you to make a very successful production. So before I end this, let me just give you these 5 tips. Number 1 is to promote like crazy. Number 2 is to invite everyone in the world. Number 3, rehearse 3 times. If you are the host, please rehearse. Number 5, record your production. And number 4 is record your production. And number 5, go hard and don't hold back. Go all out. It's better than just holding it back because that's part of your lack of confidence. So just go for it. So if you're ready, make sure you have your plan in place, promote like crazy, do your production, get some industry professionals to review it, write them a letter and invite them, make a watch party out of it. Invite everyone to come, even social media influencers. They might come. You'll never know until you ask, right? Then if you could, post a recording on YouTube and social media. That's going to be your content. And then don't forget to create a production book. Not only is that something that you will use as a souvenir of your event, but also as an assessment tool. That's where you see, hey, I could do so much better than this. I could have done this. I would have added this next time. It's a good way to record what you've done, right? So those last 2, the post the recording and create a production book, those will tell you what you can and can't do in the future if you sit down and do a self-assessment. So I hope you guys enjoyed this and found this very useful. I'm very happy to share what I can, and I hope to see you guys in the future. This is Teacher Maita. Goodbye and Madayaw!